13 years of marriage ended with 6 quiet, devastating words. I want a divorce, Daniel. No screaming. No tears. Just a calm announcement over morning coffee. She sat across from me, her hands wrapped tightly around the mug, like it was the only thing holding her together. Steam rose between us, soft and ghost-like. I stared at her, the hum of the refrigerator filling the space where love used to live. I didn't argue, didn't beg, just a simple nod. Okay, I said. Her eyes flickered with something, surprise, maybe even disappointment. She had expected resistance, a fight, some dramatic plea to stay. But the truth was, I'd been fighting alone for years. 2 weeks later, the divorce papers arrived. I didn't read them, just signed my name with a hand that barely trembled. The notary watched us, likely expecting some tension, a bitter word, maybe a tear. But all he got was silence. I thanked him, handed the papers back and walked out. She didn't follow, and I didn't look back. That night I didn't go home. I drove with no destination in mind, through winding hills, past gas stations soaked in fluorescent quiet, haunted by memories. Eventually, I stopped outside Ava's old elementary school. The playground was empty, eerily still under the soft yellow of the streetlights. I sat in the car for nearly an hour, staring at the swings, trying to pinpoint the exact moment our love began to rot. It hadn't come all at once. No, it came like erosion. Missed dinners, conversations shrinking to nods, smiles reserved for a screen instead of me. At first, I told myself it was work, stress, life. But now I know the truth. People don't drift by accident. They look away. They choose to. I never asked who he was. I didn't need to. Months before she ever spoke the word divorce, I saw the text. His name saved in her phone as he. Short for Christopher. Or Coward. They went to our place, the little Italian restaurant downtown with the warm amber lights and the soft jazz, and the tiramisu she used to moan over. Every anniversary, every birthday, every celebration, our place. And she took him there. I found the receipt in her coat pocket. 2 glasses of Connie, a shared panna cotta. The date stamped across the top in bold. Our 13th wedding anniversary. That was when the numbness began. Not shock. Not even pain. Just the slow, cold ache of a man watching his life collapse in silence. But knowing doesn't soften the blow. You still wake up reaching for a warmth that's no longer there. You still hear her laugh when the house is empty. That's the cruelty of betrayal. It echoes. But you learn to live through the echoes. Then came the day Ava brought home a drawing. Stick figures with smiling faces. Me, Mommy, and a third figure. That's Uncle Chris, she said proudly. He brings gummy bears when you're not home. I smiled at her. Thanked her. That night, after she fell asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with a glass of scotch and stared at the calendar, counting back through time. Moments that no longer added up. Suspicion turned into certainty. A week later, I made the appointment. When Ava watched cartoons, I swabbed David's cheek. She giggled. That tickles. I smiled. It's for science, I said. 2 weeks passed. The envelope came. Plain white, no drama, no foreshadowing. It sat on my desk for 3 days. Truth never arrives with thunder. It waits quiet, unblinking. I opened it on a Wednesday. 1 line at the bottom told me everything. Probability of paternity, 0%. I didn't cry. Didn't scream. The world didn't end. It simply tilted, like a house adjusting after an earthquake. And then I made a reservation. Table 7. 7:30 p.m. Our table. The one by the window where the light always hit her hair just right. I wore the suit she gave me for our 10th anniversary. The watch she inscribed with Forever Love. They arrived together. He had his hand on her lower back. She was laughing. Dressed in red. She always wore red, when she wanted to be noticed. She saw me first. Her steps faltered. His hand tightened. Daniel, she said, surprise barely disguised by a smile. I didn't know you'd be here. I won't be long, I said, calm. Polite. I placed the envelope on the table between them. Just wanted to congratulate you both on your freedom. She glanced at the envelope like it might detonate. He chuckled. That's generous of you, man. I looked at him, really looked. That smug tilt of his chin. That grin like life was a game he'd already won. She opened the envelope. Color drained from her face. First her cheeks, then her lips. She passed it to him with trembling fingers. He read it slowly, then looked at her. You told me she was his. Her voice cracked. I thought she was. No, I said softly. You hoped she was. Big difference. Her eyes were wide, pleading. Daniel, I'm not angry, I said. And I wasn't. I just thought you both deserved the truth. He stood up, face tight with betrayal. I need some air. She reached for him. Chris, please. He pulled away. You lied to me. And then he left. She looked at me like I might stay. Like I might still fix it. I didn't mean. You never do, I said. Silence settled. The kind that wraps around your chest and squeezes. What happens now? She whispered. I stood. Buttoned my jacket. Now I live honestly. And you figure out what that means for you. Then I walked away. Never looked back. Outside the night was still. A soft breeze rustled the leaves. I stood under the street lamp, bathed in quiet and something close to peace. Justice doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just whispers. You survive.